Part of the proposed Big Beautiful Bill is a plan where the US government would give $1,000 to newborns born between 2025 and 2028. The federal government would create an account, not a lot of details around this, but they would create an account and they would drop $1,000 into an index fund for the benefit of this little child who was born at some point in the next few years. And the plan also allows the guardians, in most cases, that's the parents, to add up to $5,000 per year. All sounds very nice. It's a nice thing to do. It's the account would be controlled by the guardians, in most cases, the parents. That could be a problem because I could see a situation where 5 or 6 years down the road, the parents call up and say, hey, we could really use that money. How do we get it? When the child, the beneficiary of the account, turns 18, the money it can be distributed to them, which kind of creates another set of circumstances. They're free to use that money as any 18-year-old would want to. Yikes. Besides all of that, there's already something that exists that is, in a lot of ways, better than what's being proposed. It's called a 529 account. Now, when they first were introduced, 529 plans were pretty restrictive. And in fact, there were many situations going back 15 years ago, 20 years ago, where we didn't even suggest it to some clients. Things have changed over time, and these plans have gotten better and better. And so 529 plans are really worth a look. The Trump plan is for every child, every citizen that's born between 2025 and 2028. Like a lot of programs, it starts out as temporary. Tax incentives start out as temporary. Tax credits, even tax brackets, are usually proposed in a budget bill as temporary, and they come with what's called a sunset provision. The reason why they have a sunset provision is because it doesn't become part of the longer budget deficit. And so it's easier to get it through Congress. But again, it starts out as temporary. These $1,000 accounts, it's only going to last for the next 3 or 4 years. But then at some point, Congress has to vote on essentially ending a tax break or a giveaway. And that almost never happens. When I first heard about this idea to give newborns $1,000, it reminded me of the story that I read. It's a book called The Power Broker. It's written by Robert Caro. It's a story of Robert Moses and how this unelected official was able to ram through all of these projects 70, 80, 90 years ago in the New York City area to build roads and bridges. And he built the Triborough Bridge, for goodness sakes. He built a lot of roads that you travel on. The whole idea, the concept behind all of his projects was we have to alleviate the traffic. We have to reduce the congestion that we have in the area. And so the way to do that is to build more roads and more bridges. And after years and years of doing this, the end result, what everybody found out was they just had more traffic, more congestion, more problems. And so I don't know if giving newborns $1,000 is really going to solve anything, because saving, like investing, it's a habit. It has to come from within. If you give someone $1,000, you really haven't taught them how to save money or how to invest the money. It could help. But one other point that I'll add, and I've mentioned this on other videos as well, most of Warren Buffett's gains in his wealth have come beyond the age of 65, where he's just given his investments a long enough time to compound. When you're starting out, those first 5 years, those first 10 years, those first 20 years, most of your returns are going to be based on how much money you're saving, not necessarily the investment returns. Saving money is a habit. If you give someone free money, you may not get the intended result. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment below.